Okay, it's been a minute since we've done one of these. Hey guys, what's going on? Yeah, haven't done talking to the camera in a while. If you're new to the channel, which a lot of you are, welcome. I'm your residential Steelers fan, and I mean I don't always just talk about the Steelers. Like I'll talk about the NFL and like NBA headlines that I want to talk about. But most of the time it's Steelers stuff because I'm a Steelers fan, and this is where I can talk and maybe have like one or two people listen. So yeah, this is the playlist I created called "Talking to the Camera." There's like 400 videos, not actually. There's I think like 100, which is still a lot. I can't move. I realized when I edit, like I don't really edit these, but when I like sync the audio to the camera, I always realize I move the mic around, and I'm like I can't do that because the microphone is what I talk in. Anyways, okay. So I didn't take it off the stand. I got lazy. I've had a busy day. So yeah, I don't know what this is called yet. It's probably something like the Steelers have fallen off or the Steelers are washed or something like that. So these are just my thoughts. So yeah, Pittsburgh's 1-3, and it's been painful, man. I'm not gonna lie. Like the Bills, I don't know how we won that game. I think one of the big things was our defense was great in that game, and I think one of the biggest losses that we've had that didn't really get talked about within like the media or just like in general was the loss of Tyson Alulu, our defensive tackle, and he's actually a really, really underrated player because I think he made a huge difference, especially in the run game whenever he's playing. And also we haven't had Stephon Tuitt because of a mixture of injury and personal reasons, and so we don't have really any good. I mean, we have Henry Mondeau as our starting tackle right now, technically alongside Cam Hayward, who's a defensive end that they moved to inside. But yeah, I think that's something that's really, really huge. Also, obviously we didn't have Chase for this game. We didn't have Tay for the last game. Our offensive line is a bunch of rookies. I don't know, man. It's really rough. Like I can definitely see. Okay, so first things first. Last year, one of the things I talked about was I really wanted Matt Canada to be our offensive coordinator, as in like fire Randy halfway through the season and then bring in Matt Canada. I still stand by that. JP was texting me, and even my dad texted me, and he's like, he said, Matt Canada it looks like a problem. We should fire him. And I told my dad, I was like, well, I think the big thing, and the reason I like Canada is because he was a really, really good collegiate mind. And that's why the Steelers brought him in to be the quarterback's coach. I think because they were trying to like get Ben ready for a more collegiate system that they wanted to implement in the future. And then Ben got hurt, obviously. But the nice thing about Matt Canada's system is it's very collegiate. But the downside means you need an athletic quarterback. And this is where the issues come in. Because I was talking to JP, my dad, and I said, yeah, the scheme looks bad, but at the end of the day, there's only a limited amount of plays you can call out of this scheme that Matt Canada is trying to create because Ben isn't mobile enough. Or, I mean, maybe he is, but he just doesn't want to get out of the pocket because there have been a couple plays this season where he'll step up and he'll run. And you're like, oh, why don't you do that more? And that's one of the reasons. So last year when Pittsburgh played Cleveland in Week 17, when they rested their starters and Mason Rudolph played, I was talking and I was like, why does Mason Rudolph look good? And I realized it was because Matt Canada was play calling, and Mason threw against a really good Browns defense. They weren't sitting starters because they were trying to get into the playoffs. Against a really good Browns defense, Rudolph threw for like 322 yards and I think 2 touchdowns, and we almost won that game. And I think the reason for that, and I texted JP this, and I can't believe these were words that I said, but like at the end of the day, Haskins and Rudolph might be better for the Steelers because of their mobility, and that allows Matt Canada to actually implement this scheme that he wants. The one place where Ben will always succeed, and I think like no matter what he's really good in, is the 2-minute, the no-huddle offense. But you can't really run the no-huddle offense when it's the start of the game. They did a little bit of it today, and we finally scored for the first time in I think 3 years. We had not scored a touchdown on our opening drive in like 3 years, and that was the first time we scored a point offensively in the first quarter in 10 games. That's not a joke. In the first quarter of the last 10 games, the only times we ever scored a touchdown were because of our defense, and that was one time. Everything else has been field goals. But we saw like Ben was using something that he's really good at, which is the no-huddle system. But again, you're going to just tire out your players. By the end of that drive, they're gassed, and they're probably not going to be performing as well as you want to. So that's why a lot of Steeler fans are like, we just need to use no huddle all the time. No, because we're already decimated offensive line, and we're already using Najee 98% of the time. We can't have them having less energy, because that also creates injuries. And so, like, that's the sad thing, is that it just might be time. I would like to, like, I really was looking forward to this season, because I was like, Ben's going to be, back, and he's lost a bunch of weight. He has another year off of the surgery. We have a new offensive coordinator. We're bringing in Najee, a new offensive line. Or not a new offensive line, but like rookies that I do like our rookies. Kendrick Green, I really do like. This isn't a rookie. This is just a player we brought in. Trey Turner, I really like. Someone that we haven't had a chance to play yet, Zach Banner, who's just been hit by the injury bug, I think can be one of the best right tackles in football. That's like genuinely. I mean, he's like 6'9", I think. So his size alone really, really helps. And when he's on the field, he's good. We just haven't had him on the field in over a year. Trey Turner I like just because a veteran, and Kendrick Green is just like a great guy. He doesn't produce fun highlights, but he makes the small differences. Where I'm a little worried is the left side of the line, which is fine because we have a rookie over there and we have Okafor over there. And like I posted my reaction to when we drafted Najee, and like I love Najee. I genuinely do. I think he's awesome. JP called him a tryhard today, not in like the bad way, but like, yeah, he will do everything for a yard. And I love that about him. But at the end of the day, it's really looking like what Pittsburgh should have done first was go for offensive line, get someone like just take any free agent running back. Like if they would have waited out, they probably could have gotten like a Latavius Murray or someone like that, and bring them in for just a year, and then next year worry about drafting running back, because right now the offensive line looks bad. But I am happy that we have Najee, because Najee is like the one small bright spark on this team. I'm going to shift from the offense because that's where most of the issues are, honestly. The defense, I'm not too worried about. The only reason I think the defense has been performing like kind of horribly lately is just because, similar to my own, like where I go to college, the University of Utah, it's really hard to consistently be a good defense when you're on the field 90% of the game. If the offense can't keep you off for at least like 10 minutes, you're going to be gassed. And so, like the first quarter, Pittsburgh, and even the second quarter, Pittsburgh's defense looked great. Also, I haven't even talked about this yet. Pittsburgh had a huge momentum shift, which was the blocked field goal for a touchdown. They weren't offside. They were not offside. And that honestly could have been a huge shift, not only in this game, but in the Steelers season. Because you go into halftime with a lead, and yes, Green Bay gets the ball, but that's such like a pump up moment. And that's a moment where, okay, we just lost to the Bengals, and we just lost a game that we should have won against the Raiders at home. This is a moment like, okay, let's get this shit together and let's try and like go on a hot streak of like 3 or 4 games in a row. That's, I think, like genuinely a season altering moment. And they called offsides, and the refs tomorrow are going to come out and go, oopsie, our bad, sorry, that wasn't actually offsides. Gene Steratore literally said, I don't know how they're calling this offsides. And the bullshit is tomorrow they're going to go, oh, well, yeah, oops, we made a mistake. What should happen there is Gene Steratore should go, I don't know about that. And Mike Tomlin can't challenge it because it's under 2 minutes. The refs should have reviewed it. They should have reviewed it. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. Green Bay got a field goal off of it. So I'm not too worried about the defense. Minka, like, he's like one of the lowest graded safeties right now. He's not being thrown at that often. That's the thing. And when he does, it's over the top. So it's not really him. It's just more of the schematics that Keith Butler's been putting out. But I'm not worried about our defense that much. Honestly, we've been burdened by injuries. It does suck that our streak ended last week, but that's going to happen when you have Joe Hayden, Devin Bush, TJ Watt, Tyson Alualu, Stephon Tuitt, all of them out. So, yeah, it is what it is. Offensively is where all the issues are coming from. I still really like our wide receiver core. I think we have a top 5 wide receiver core. I think one thing that Tony Romo was talking about is that the Steelers need to start using the tight ends to chip, which essentially means like, okay, cool, you have 2 tight ends on each side or on a certain side, and then what you do is the tight ends hit a dude, just like give him a little push back, and then that way the offensive line can deal with him, but it offsets him a little bit, and then they can release, and then because Ben is just going to have to dink and dunk at this point, even though I don't think his arm is as shot as people think it is, because he had some really good throws today. There were a couple bad throws, I will say that, but he's dink and dunking a lot. Hey, congratulations to Tom Brady. He passed Drew Brees. Good for you, man. But yeah, I think using the tight ends, I like Freiermuth a lot. Ebron's not really a blocking tight end, so we can't really use him. But yeah, no, it's just the offense looks stuck in the mud. I don't really want to go to the playoffs this year because I think we're just going to get our asses handed to us. The only thing I want is to be over 500 just for Mike Tomlin's sake because he's never had a losing season. But, I mean, if the offense keeps looking like this, Pittsburgh's going to be in the top 10 of the draft, and I'm going to stick with that because we still haven't played Cleveland once or Baltimore once, and we have them twice a season. And then we also will have to play against the Bears defense, and then we're going to have to play against Minnesota's offense and try to somehow keep up with them. We play the Chiefs later in the season. We play the Chargers later in the season. We play the Broncos defense later in the season. Like, we have a first-place schedule because we got first place last year. So Pittsburgh's in a shit situation, man. This is a season where I can see us winning 5 or 6 games, but I'm going to have low expectations. It is what it is. Who do we play next week? I know we're home for the next 4 games, I believe. Well, 4 out of the next 5 games we're home. But next week is going to be, oh, great. We play the Broncos next week. Oh, and then Seattle. Oh, and then the Browns. Great. So let's see. We should be able to beat the Broncos because Teddy Bridgewater got hurt. So theoretically, there's 2-3. We're going to lose to the Seahawks. There's 2-4. The game against Cleveland is in Cleveland, so that's 2-5. The Bears look like they might have something with Justin Fields, but it's in Pittsburgh and it's Monday night, so I'm going to go 3-5. And then the Lions, that Lions team scares me, but hopefully Pittsburgh. Nope, that's a game Pittsburgh should win, but they're going to lose 3-6. The Chargers, we're going to lose 3-7. The Bengals, we're going to lose 3-8. We always win a game against the Ravens, so I'll go 4-8. Vikings, I think we lose 4-9. Titans, I think we can win that one. 5-9. Chiefs, no. 5-10. Like, at that point, we're already under 500, and then it's Browns-Ravens. So it's just going to be a really hard season, man. Steelers fans, you just got to lower your expectations. We've been spoiled. You have to admit that. We've been spoiled, but we didn't do enough with it. It sucks. Looking back on the Bell Brown years, or the Ben Bell Brown years, we didn't have a defense at that time. So you can either have a good offense, you can have a good defense. It is what it is. Congratulations to Ben, though. Obviously, he moved into 6th all-time passing yards. Yeah, he's having a really shit season, but that doesn't take away from the fact that he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. He's a 2-time Super Bowl champion. He's been to 3. He's going to go down as the best quarterback in the history of the Steelers. And yeah, I think this last season and a half have been kind of overshadowing his career. So congratulations to that. And then obviously he now has 400 total touchdowns in his career, which is awesome because only 6 other quarterbacks have ever done that. So yeah, those are my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think. Who knows if I'll make a video next week. Maybe Pittsburgh comes out and blows the shit out of the Broncos, and it's 100-0, and I'm like, what the fuck? So we'll see what happens. Anyway, we know how these videos end. It's just a simple